Mansi Agarwal, along with Manveet Arora, would like to take this opportunity to welcome all the renowned speakers, presenters, faculty members, and students to the breakout session of Bootcamp 2022. Amity Youth and Innovation Forum has organized Online Bootcamp 2022 for startup incubation from 17th to 22nd January 2022 as a part of the 4th International Conference on Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Leadership on the theme Resilient Entrepreneurship, Disruptive Innovations, and Agile Leadership, Gearing Up for Industry 5.0 for Economic Growth in VUCA World at Amity University, an online platform for participants of Pan India on starting up their own venture. Bootcamp 2022 serves as a platform for interactive, get direct feedback from industry experts, startup gurus, mentors, and top-notch academicians. It offers a great networking opportunities, which is no doubt a challenging space.
Now, I'd like to welcome Dr. Namrata Acharya. Ma'am has a rich experience of over 14 years in the areas of finance, entrepreneurship, and leadership. She enjoys having a perfect blend of magnificent industry and academic experience and have been instrumental in creating equity research reports, sector analysis outlook, business research, global dailies, commodity forex reports for private equity players, international bankers, and qualified institutional promoters in the international markets. A double master's in management from University of Mumbai, holding a MMS degree in management with major specialization in finance and an MCom with major specialization in management. Ma'am is a trained faculty leader with the National Entrepreneurship Network in the domain of entrepreneurship management. She has also worked as a business consultant for SME and mentor for a number of startups. She is one of the most active face in mentoring students to start up new ventures in her teaching career and has been honored to be awarded for the receiving of national level reward from NEN for having the most and the best entrepreneurship cell and driving entrepreneurship week on campus. Ma'am has also won a number of best research paper awards from a number of national bodies and has been honored to be appointed as a life member on board of Research and Development Association of India, Jaipur. I welcome you, ma'am, to deliver practical insights for these official start of the Marathon Mentoring Clinic session, Bootcamp Day 5. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. It's a privilege to always speak to people who are aspiring to become entrepreneurs. And I'm sure maybe I want to keep this session a little interactive because there are so many things which I could share. Just to add on to my profile, my doctorate is in the area of finding out what are the different financing alternatives for small medium entrepreneurs. So I don't know how many attending year aspire to register themselves as a small medium enterprise, but if it comes to SME, I could share a lot of insights. Just to give a quick overview of why we are meeting and I think what's everybody's objective here. So when we talk about funding alternatives, I think the institute has already said that they want us to speak about government schemes, VC. In the morning, I think Vignesh already covered what are the different websites through which you could apply to different VC funds. So I'm just giving you a different perspective. I'm saying that, okay, first, please find out why do you require money. So first thing, any investor is going to ask you, even if you have a plan in place, or if you have, you are already doing business. First question, if I'm an investor, I'm going to ask you, why do you require money? Do you require money because you are just starting up? Whether, and if you're starting up, why can't you use your money? How much have you invested your money? So how much of your savings you put? Why you don't put your initial money? So first question comes is, why do you require the money? Fine. Then it also say it is going to further go, I'm going to further probe you to find out if you want money, what level of money do you want, and for why, what is the reason for taking this money. So whether it's a normal day-to-day activity for which money is needed in your business, or it's an initial expenditure, or it's for expansion, or for buying assets. One best example which I can give over here is, I don't know if you're aware or no, there is a company known as, there is a retail outlet known as Goli Vada Pav. So these Vada Pav people are the one which became a very big news since they went for funding. So it's a Vada Pav funded by a venture capitalist firm, and the only reason we don't require, nobody requires money to open a vada pav venture, because we know money keeps on flowing every day. The only reason the venture got funded is because the growth plans were to, just grow in a year to, from say one outlet to 100 outlets. So are you looking at that expansion right now? Are you ready for that, for that particular expansion? If yes, then yes, it's good to discuss what are the different funding alternatives coming your way. Um Very important to know when we speak about funding, what's an internal source of fund and what's an external source of fund. First thing, money comes from your own business. Please remember, whatever money, so if you've already started in, or even if you got your first customer, that customer, whatever money he gives for the product, is your money which is coming in. So sources. So first thing, money comes in is from profits. So if you have already started your business, then it is going to come from profits being an internal source. If you feel you've not started up and you just want that initial, big amount to push it up, then we can talk about external funds. It could be loan, it could be VC funding or any other credit facility. So internal sources could be profits if you are already an entrepreneur. It could be the depreciation which you show in books of accounts. It's not an expense, it's shown in the books of accounts. Money which is saved by the business, completely non-taxable. So you could use that amount, or it could be by selling assets if you already have your assets in place. And in case of external, it could be both either long term or short term finance. So as I said, internal sources, it's more of profit, depreciation and sales. So any money which you earn, profit remaining in the business, is your money to put back in the business. I'll say you bootstrap your own money to grow in business. When I say bootstrap your money, you keep on accumulating profit, save that money and just put it back in the business and expand further. So the money keeps on rolling in the business. You get money which is completely free without any cost. So it's my own profit. I don't have to pay any portion of that profit to somebody else. It remains with me. Next is, I told you, depreciation, and the third one is selling of assets. When I talk about external sources of money, there are a number of funding alternatives which are available for you. We in the morning have already heard, venture capital money or an angel investor money coming in. I'll say the quickest and the easiest way to raise money is through loans. So go to the bank and take a loan, or ask your friend for a loan, ask somebody for a loan. So what happens here is, it could be a loan stock or your own retained earnings or your bank borrowings, which become your major source of external fund if if time is a constraint. Fine. So you may have your own expansion plan, and depending on how fast you want to take it up, you may look at this kind of funding. There are a lot of expansion scheme funds also available now with banks. So I remember State Bank of India launching a loan which is known as startup funding, which says they fund up to 1 crore of rupee to any startup. Now, bank is promising giving you a 1 crore rupee funding come loan, wherein for the first 3 years you don't pay them anything back, and after 3 years you start paying them back. So it becomes it becomes more secured that you're going to the bank and you're going to source this particular money from the bank. If you have very good relationship with any bank, this works faster. So banks also are now running startup schemes. So I'm not saying go to the bank and take a loan. I'll say go to the bank and find out, what kind of expansion or funding schemes they have. Fine. I'm going to talk on more of government schemes in the next few, minutes. But I'm just giving you a broad overview. What are the schemes which you could say? Basically, if I want to do my business, my capital should consist of who all. I'll never say stick to one. I'll say stick to all, all of them in a different form. So decide how much money to take from VC, decide how much money to take from bank, decide how much money to, raise from the market in case you want to go for an equity funding. For people who are keen on, driving the business under the small medium enterprise banner, This is for your information. National Stock Exchange also runs a SME exchange. So there is an SME exchange. So you can actually list your shares being a small medium enterprise, and you can ask so investors could basically buy your shares, and these shares actually get traded also. So you could also register once you register yourself as SME, you can actually raise money through equity form. So it's not that you have to wait to become a big public sector company. Even if you're a small or a medium enterprise, you can register yourself with NSE under the SME banner and raise money from the market. So this is a new initiative which was launched by NSE. They've started promoting this particular per se for a lot of startups since they are now joining in. So either you go for a new issue or a right issue. So when I say new issue, you go on the SME exchange and you come up with an IPO. So it is a small IPO. It's not for everybody or general public. There are a lot of investment bankers, insurance companies who are looking for, or institutional investors who are looking at this particular SME exchange. Anybody has any idea, where does the money, do you think, a bank can be a venture capitalist for you? Anyone? Any idea? Do you know whether a bank can be a venture capital firm for you or no? Have you heard about this concept? All right. So this is for your information. Banks also have their own registered venture capitalist funds. So ICICI Venture is one fund. Okay. HDFC also has its own venture fund. So we keep on hunting venture capitalists outside, and we try finding out companies who are actually funding. But there are banks who are running this venture capitalist firms, and they are separate from the bank. Okay, they are not looking at you that you've come here for a loan. So they are actually picking up these stocks from the SME exchange. You can actually approach them also with your business plan. Okay, if you have started, then it becomes very easy for you to convince them to look at your plan to give you money. And they're not going to give you money in the loan form, they will give you money as a venture capitalist firm. So that's the beauty of of the entire idea of venture capitalist. So banks also have their own venture funds, and the kind of profits they earn is more than 100%. So they are investing in businesses, and they are even giving you the expertise to grow. So they have people in different domains, different sectors on board who are experts. So they'll lend you also money, and they'll give you an expert also who will start functioning with you to boost your business. So that's also part of the business expansion, schemes which the banks run. So one is a mandate by Reserve Bank of India for priority lending. So if you are a small medium enterprise, you are my priority lending. I have to lend you 2% of my total, loan money. But irrespective of that amount, I also run a VC fund on my own, wherein I, use my institutional investors' money, and I boost my bank's profit by putting money into businesses like you. So I also behave like a venture firm, and I register, and they have registered themselves as a venture fund. So Reserve Bank of India has nothing to do with that. So it's a separate venture arm which they have opened. So that also gives you one way of looking at. So I said, go to the, so first put in your own money, go to the bank for your short-term loan requirements. Try to, stabilize. Once you're able to stabilize, with the same bank's help also, you can, go and approach their venture fund. So even that works in. Fine. So I said raise money through share capital. So you may go for any form. I'm not going in detail. You may have a normal equity share listed on SME exchange, or a preference share, or a deferred share. Deferred share is your own contribution. Never dilute your contribution more than 51% to have the major say in the business. Okay, and when you talk about long-term sources of debt, so your capital structure consists of both equity as well as debt. So I will, it's good to go for debentures or a mortgage fund, or we'll go for government assistance. So government assistance
मैं
plays
बताती
a
हूँ.
very important role here. Uh, so government assistance, yes, Dr. Neelam, you want to add something?
Yeah, I wanted to add one thing. I'm calling my Vice Chancellor, ma'am, in the session.
Okay,
Okay. So I'm very sorry for interrupting you in
no
between.
problem, ma'am, no problem.
But I think she will add lot of value. She's a very good entrepreneur herself,
Okay.
taking our university from scratch to this height. She's the brain behind it. So, Dolly, I have called ma'am. मैं- Okay. Acha, so you can continue.
Okay. Okay, so coming back. So I was talking about the capital structure point of view. So you may go for a loan capital. You may go for government assistance. There's a lot of long-term schemes. There are a lot of government schemes which give you this long-term source of money, wherein government is giving you loan at only 1% interest rate. So I'm going to talk about what these schemes are prevalent right now with the government, where you could take the assistance, you can raise money in form of long term finance only at 1% interest rate. Fine, that's an amazing way of putting it by the government. And a lot of these startup schemes now are getting a lot of prevalence because of people coming and registering themselves as SME or under the startup scheme. So either you register yourself as startup and take assistance under the startup scheme, or you register yourself as a MSME and take benefit over there as an MSME. So very good, a number of schemes. I'm going to pick up the some few ones which may be interest of you. I'm going to talk about that. Fine. So I'm just skipping this. I'm not going in detail of what are the different loan specialist funds because I want to concentrate more on the government assistance. In the morning, we saw a lot of venture capital schemes. So I'm going to talk about the government assistance here. Fine. You could also have your own company's credit card and use the overdraft facility on your account, or your credit card, or a trade credit. Trade credit is basically if you get into export import, then the government runs separate schemes with the bank where you don't have to go to the government, you just have to approach your bank and tell that you are in dealing in export or import, or give your export import code or license number and ask for funding. This funding also comes at a percentage of only 2 to 3% depending why you have raised money. So it's not only about, it's not only about registering yourself at SME. Even if you've not registered yourself as a SME, MSME or something, you are a private company, or a sole proprietary company, but you are into export import business and you have your own IEC code, that means import export code, then also you can raise money through the trade credit scheme from the bank. These are also schemes pushed by the government through banks when you get loan at a rate of 2 to 3%. Now, just to give you an overview of SME sector and funding. So I'm not going in detail in defining, but if you look across the globe, it's not only in our country, but across the globe, major employment comes from this sector. So I'll put it like this. Every country, whether it is US, India, UK, or say Europe, or any part of China, I'll put China out of this maybe. Any other country, say Africa, Europe, any country we are looking right now, every country is right now boosting entrepreneurship. Fine. And the only reason to boost entrepreneurship is small and medium companies or these entrepreneurs who are now aspiring to become big are giving tough competition and choice to customers. So they are not only giving competition, but they're giving a lot of choice to customers to join in. So I am not only going to give you, uh, you know, I'm not only giving you a platform. So government will not only give you a platform, but they want to boost this sector because if you grow, employment in my country grows. So a lot of people get employment. So if you see about any state in our country also, which state is going to good, the state where there's a lot of boost in manufacturing, there's a lot of boost in business activities will grow. And people don't want to migrate from that state to another place because you get employment right at your doorstep. So that's the entire idea of boosting employment. So boosting of SME sector is actually, and funding, pushing funding of this sector is now of prime importance across the world. It is helping, people in US also have, done a lot of studies and there are a lot of startup programs. In fact, the entire Silicon Valley has a different setup for boosting innovative ideas and helping young students like you to start up their own businesses, because they know once you grow to a particular level, or if you come with an innovative idea, that could be the next boost for their business. So you could just take their business from say 0 to 100. So economic development only comes when a new product gets developed, innovation comes in the market, or the small medium sector comes up with products which maybe could be solutions to problem, or could be showcasing some innovation. Fine. It could be even a small product. So maybe if you're wearing a smartwatch, the strap of the smartwatch, or maybe the pin of the smartwatch. Now these are not made in our country. They are imported from some other country. Okay, or the chip inside the smartwatch, that doesn't get made in India. It's coming somewhere from Korea. So why not somebody pick up that project and make it in India? So the entire idea of Make in India, which runs in our country, is similar to similar programs running across the world. So funding here becomes a very important aspect, and boosting the sector also becomes very important aspect. So I will recommend, in case you are looking at money from the government, there are two ways in which you do it. You register yourself as an MSME, get an MSME license, or you register yourself under the Startup India scheme. So both these schemes are going to pour in a lot of money for you. With the schemes getting highlighted, you will be able to, and to be very honest, if you get registered yourself under the startup scheme, and if you get recognized as a brand by so there is a Make in India logo, the lion logo, which everybody cannot use. Only a company which is living or dreaming the government vision with some criteria. So it says, just giving an example, it says that if you're running, okay, I'll give you an actual example of a company where I visited who was vouching for this Make in India logo. So there is a company known as BAS, okay, Beatall Sport. Now this company Beatall Sport, what does it do? It actually makes cricket bats, okay, cricket bats, hockey bats for international players. So what company is this? This company is based out in Jalandhar, and this is the same company which is covered in the MS Dhoni movie. Now this company which is covered in the MS Dhoni movie, these people actually filed for a Make in India logo, because the major money comes to the company by exporting hockey bats as well as cricket bats. So all the top players across international markets are using a bat which is made by an Indian maker in Jalandhar, and he is exporting these bats across the world. And the entire one, so any guesses on the price of, say, maximum price of a hockey bat or a cricket bat which they must be selling? So any guesses on the product maximum retail price? You can guess any number, guys. Anyone? So Mansi, Manveet, you want to guess anything?
Ma'am, around 700 approximately. I don't know.
So the so actually the cricket bat was nothing less than 35,000, a basic one, and 50, say 35 to 50,000 was the basic one. But a hockey bat which I've seen was costing worth 2.5 lakhs to 3 lakh rupees. The basic bat. And the fellow who this company person whom we'd been interacting, he said that he was facing a lot of problem in getting himself registered as Make in India, because Make in India says you are a small, so they were an MSME, so they said we are an MSME, we registered ourselves, we earn so much of export money for the government, but now to get that recognition I have to open a training center in my factory to show that I train my workers and I also give them employment. So it's a holistic view. I may train say 200 people and I'll only recruit 20 people. But at least the other 180 whom I've trained, they would get some employment in some other company. So that becomes, that's part of the scheme. So funding comes, money comes, Recognition also comes, but then you would also have to adhere to some norms of the government. Fine. So, if you look at the report which was made by the Development Commission for MSME, it said that poor technology, problem related to marketing or raw material or inadequate working capital or power supply is a major problem. So, basically more of finance related problem these companies faced. And since they face these, constraints, government came up with scheme in each domain. So in each domain, the government runs a program and runs a scheme when the money support comes from the government. So I'm just giving you one typical example. So there is a scheme which says that you could rent a GST software. So you are a small medium enterprise. So if you're an MSME, you don't have money. Okay, come to the MSME body. You don't have to go physically also. Go on the e-MSME portal and say, I want a GST software. So you just have to pay 1,000 rupees per month and get a GST software by the which is run on cloud by the government. They'll support you with all the details. So I don't have to go anywhere. I just use the government software, just pay 1,000 rupees and I'm done with it. Fine. Other one scheme which they run wherein the products, so FMCG product or any product which you want to sell abroad. When you want to sell abroad, you require an FDA license, you need a barcode. So now every company cannot afford doing everything. Since I'm a small company, I'm a small medium enterprise. So one scheme run by them is basically covers, taking a barcoding machine on rent. So government will give you a barcoding machine on rent for say 5,000 rupees a year or 10,000 rupees a year. You can try it out. If it works with you, then think of investing in an actual machine. Fine. Similarly, they have CAD machines. So if you want to design your product, even those machines are given on rent, and the rent is very very less, 100 rupees, 200 rupees or whatever, for getting this. And you just have to on the click of the button on the website, you can get access to all the schemes. I am taking you to that website to show you those schemes. Just to quickly wrap up, when I say funding alternatives, I will always say first money comes from you, whether it's your money or mom's money or dad's money or your friend's money. First money comes from you. Second comes from your relative or your best friend who may give you money for doing business. Third, and the safest option which people try or which makes it easy for you to raise money is bank loan. Okay, we definitely look at VCs, but they will ask you, okay, where all have you got the money from? So people first go to the bank to take some kind of loan to do the business. Then comes the VC, venture capitalist companies. You may also find an angel investor. Angel investor could be me or anybody who loves your idea and feels, okay, I'll give him 50,000, let him or her do the work and say, okay, return me back once you start earning money. Sixth is government scheme, very, very important criteria. I'm taking you to government schemes. Seventh, very important alternative is crowdfunding. I don't know if Vignesh has covered crowdfunding, but crowdfunding platforms are giving you a lot of options to raise money. Crowdfunding platform pe you can raise money in form of equity, in case of debt, in case of charity. So that could be done. Right now, SEBI has worked out a plan to make this crowdfunding platform equity registered with SEBI. Initially, it had a lot of problems in our country because all shares are, equity share and everything is controlled by SEBI. So SEBI has a different, now is legalizing the entire crowdfunding platform for equity funding. This is the next in thing which is going to come. So maybe if you've started your business today or you're going to start your business today, in the next few years, maybe 2 to 3 years, you could have your equity funding coming from crowdfunding where you raise money and give equity shares to that person. Eighth is bootstrapping, use your own money, save it, and then put it back in the business. Ninth is funding from business incubators and accelerator. So I'm sure if Amity is running an incubator or an accelerator program, and there are so many investors or VC invited, you are pitching them, somebody may give you some kind of money. Business loans from NBFCs or microfinance providers. These business loans are pushed by Reserve Bank of India, where these NBFCs and microfinance providers are forced to give you money. Okay, so banks are also forced you to give money. RBI is closely monitoring them. You could also do a pre-sale before making the product, sell the product and raise the money. Fund through credit cards to selling assets and all others. Fine. So many other ways of raising money. Any questions so far? Anybody? Any questions? All right. Let me take you to the Startup India scheme website. I'll just take you to the portal. So this is the Startup India portal. You first need to get yourself registered as a company startup with the help of DPIT, Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. So it's your choice to decide whether you want to register yourself as a startup or you want to register yourself as an MSME. Both run different schemes. Once you get this recognition of being a startup, the process is very simple. You just fill in the form online and within a day you get this particular recognition, and within 3 days you can start doing business. So the first very important thing, if you have an idea in place and you want to start, first get yourself registered. So register yourself under this. Schemes run under this are basically related to what kind of startup you are, what is your age, what's your company type, what's your origin, what kind of innovative idea, and how you are scaling. Now why should you get yourself registered as startup? Because maximum benefit comes in form of tax. There is a tax exemption. That means if you're a startup, first 3 years you don't pay a single money tax to the government being a company. 30% of the money you save in case of taxation. Very very important very important registration, very important initiative by the government. So I can save my 30% 3 years. I've almost saved my 100% of my revenues in a way. 30 30 30, I am saving 1 year's entire revenue. Fine. There are right now, if you see, there are right now 5,35,000 Startup India hubs which are already registered and who are getting benefit of this exemptions if they have submitted the entire data, and they have 62,145 startups which are recognized. So 535 registered, 62,000 are doing good. Number is still better. Was scenario was out of 100 only one startup or two startups were successful. This shows the success rate is better because now everybody is open with the idea of investing in startups. And who are the ones who are investing in these startups? There are governments. So it's a portal. Once you register, it's like a portal. You can actually raise money from institutional investors. For 62,000 startups which are registered, 2,778 are getting funding. And how is the funding coming? The same registration process, you need to fill in the details and say you are seeking funding. Once you're seeking funding, whatever details are asked, if you fill and send, if the government finds your product to be very, very viable, you receive the funding without any pitch. You don't have to go and pitch anybody. You're just filling in the data under this portal and you get funding allotted. So I'm saying you don't have to go to the VC. You just have to register yourself under the Startup India scheme and get yourself funded. Right? So this helps, this is helping a lot of startups to receive funding. So it's up to you if you are interested in getting an exemption for taxation. If you want the government funding to come in, it's an easy window. Registration process is very simple. You have a lot of exemptions which are given since you are a startup. You have a different recognition. You can directly apply for an IPR through this particular portal. You don't and the IPR filing is also completely free. You don't have to pay any single money. In case you do the entire process separately without being a startup, there is no such support. The IPR application process is also faster and it doesn't require any money. Whereas in case of a normal company, there is a lot of money involved in case of IPR. So I would recommend, in case you're looking at government scheme, first is think of two things. Either go for Startup India scheme or go for an MSME registration. So register yourself as startup or register yourself as MSME. Now let me take you to what are the government schemes under the MSME. So I will just quickly, I'm not going to take there are many schemes. I'm not going to take them in detail, but I'm just going to give you a small overview. What are these schemes? Okay, if you look at the growth funding pyramid which was made by this company, These are this is basically an investment banker who said that in case I was the one who was to give you loan, or if I am a person who wants to give you funding, or you are an entrepreneur who wants to raise money, the most easiest way to raise money is through loan. Then it's crowdfunding, then creative funding. Creative means you find your own way, some creative idea to raise money, any idea of any creative idea which could help you raise funding. Best example is the political party Aam Aadmi Party. They raised the entire funding through their Anna Hazare, PR team. So the entire PR of Anna Hazare of the party and actually helped them raise money for the political party. So that was creative thinking. So give a missed call for to support Anna Hazare, and that money, that missed call gave the company, marketing company data, which was sold to all the banks, insurance companies, and they raised money. They got a lot of money selling your data because you supported Anna Hazare, and they got this money from different banks or say insurance company. They sold your data and they actually made a political party using that money. It's creative funding. So can you also run a campaign and do something like this to have creative funding in place? Go for a social lending. So if you're a social entrepreneur is the person who says, okay boss, I will do business with a social objective. There is a company known as Goonj. um, I don't know if you are aware about it. So Joy of Giving Week, where you can just go and drop your teddy bear or your clothes outside Shopper Stop or Big Bazaar or any of the outlets. Where does this go? What happens to these clothes or soft toys?
Ma'am, it goes to the needy.
It goes to the needy. Do you think if Mansi, do you think if it's stone, anybody is going to wear it? Because they are okay taking anything, whatever you draw, right?
Yes, ma'am.
It definitely goes to the needy, but who's giving it to the needy? So there is a foundation. Their name is Goonj. You know what they do? They collect this item, very rightly said by you, it goes to the needy. They collect all these items from these stores. So they don't go personally, they'll tell the store wala, please come and drop at us collection center. And then they go to villages. In those villages, they pick up small infrastructure projects, either of the government or of that particular village. Tell the people to come together and work on that project. So maybe making a bore well, or making a road, or making a bridge. Okay, so if a road or bridge is involved, I will apply to the government for a contract, get the government contract, make the local villagers work, pay the local villagers for doing that work and give them these goodies. So I may not only give them cash, I'll also give them clothes, I'll give them some ration. So it's a charitable, organization which does this. They were recognized internationally across the world. Okay, so the person got a Magsaysay award, and he was not only recognized on the Indian platform but on the international platform, and he is right now helping other countries to make a self-sustaining model like this. So that is social lending. Money comes from corporates. A lot of CSR money is there with the company right now. If you are making a product which is a green product, or it helps the company to actually help the society, then definitely you will receive this money under the CSR initiative as part of social lending. Fine. Okay, that could be financial modeling, some finance companies giving you bank loans, strategic financing grants, or individual equity or institutional equity. Very difficult to get institutional equity. Now let me quickly take you to government schemes. Okay, when I say government schemes, there are a lot of government schemes that offer startup capital. I already showed you the startup scheme. I'm going to talk about now primarily of the MSME schemes which come under the picture. So this actually too much to discuss. A lot of innovative ways of raising money are also there. So you could go for a buyout or go for an hire purchase agreement. Fine. All right. Now coming to government schemes, most of the schemes are targeted at these few points. First, ensure that the company gets credit and financial assistance. There's skill development training which has to come with the financial assistance. So I'll give you money, I'll give you all the funding. I'll not ask you also where did you spend the money. Only just whenever you have to pay me back. So some funding comes wherein money is given by the government, not asked back. It's like a subsidy or a grant. And some funding may come wherein there will be 1% interest which would be charged. So depending on what is the objective with which you're doing business, the government would decide whether they want to give you a grant or they want to give you financial assistance. But when whatever I am doing for you as government, I would also want you to have a skill development training in your company so that you make the youth trained for joining your company while you expand business or join your competitors company. Whatever scheme they run, they also support MSME to get money for infrastructure development. So if I want to put a CAD machine, I told you, or if I want a barcode machine, or I want to even have a GST software, government will give you on hire or you can purchase at a very subsidized price. There is marketing assistance. Just for information, if you go on the MSME portal where the schemes are listed, you can actually get digital marketing done at a very lower cost, not only in India but across, in India portal, which gets flashed across the world. So the way you have yourself registered on India Mart, you also can get marketing assistance how to market your product at a very nominal price. So it's not only about you and me mentoring somebody, but government said, okay, I'll also give you assistance. I'll make your logo, I'll make your tagline, and I'll help you design the packaging. I'll give you that marketing assistance also. So that schemes also are also run, and that support is provided to MSME. There is technological and quality upgradation schemes and all other schemes which some small schemes. So first is under Prime Minister Employment Generation Program. If you are opening any kind of khadi village industries or state khadi or some tiny unit which supports the cultural heritage of the company, you can get the benefit. You can receive money at a very lower price. You have to show what kind of employment you actually generate, and you get a secured loan up to 1 crore rupees. So under the Mudra unit, you can define yourself to be a Mudra or a PMG unit and get a loan up to 1 crore rupee. And this subsidy, it also comes in the form of a subsidy. It's just 1 crore funding at maybe 1%, but out of this 20% could be a grant. So 20 lakh rupees has come as because you showcase that you are creating employment for people in states where there is a lot of unemployment. Fine. So very good initiative by the government, wherein a lot of agro companies. So if you're an agriculture entrepreneur, service entrepreneur, a polymer company, forest or a handmade paper company, you could fit into this particular scheme. So you can take benefit out of this scheme. Then there is credit linked capital subsidy scheme. If you look at this scheme, you can get a subsidy again, a subsidy up to 1 crore rupee. So money comes in the form of from the government up to 1 crore, where you can do an online application for this particular scheme. And this scheme actually gets routed to the commercial bank or rural banks near you. Fine. So you get a lot of credit linked capital. So you get long-term loan by these banks. You can just have to apply on the portal. You don't have to go to any bank. Just apply on the MSME portal that I'm an MSME with so and so name looking for funding. And the money comes in. Now in this, they have some sectors which they have defined. If you belong to that particular sector, especially tech sector, then a lot of fund has got allocated for technological advancement. So credit linked capital could be used highly for high tech companies. So if you're a tech venture and if you want money to for innovation or for raising or making some new product, then money would come in form of subsidy up to 1 crore again. Then you can have credit guarantee trust fund for MSME. This is completely collateral free. You don't have to keep anything in collateral with the government to avail the benefit of this scheme. A number of applications were approved by the government, and more 80% of the people who applied for this scheme have received the money. Fine. So it takes majorly 8 weeks to receive this money in case you want to go for a collateral loan from the government. Okay, this collateral loan again is only at 1% per annum. So that's another benefit. Next scheme is interest subvention scheme for incremental credit to MSMEs. So when I say interest subvention scheme, it means you may get, you would have to pay interest on the loan, but you won't have to pay it in the initial years. So I told you, even SBI run one scheme saying that it's a startup scheme, wherein they'll give you a loan, but first 3 years they will not charge you any kind of, they won't actually ask for any interest payments. So that scheme could also be, benefit could also be availed. There is also scheme of fund for regeneration of traditional industries. So in case you are into making, say, handicrafts, some embroidery work, zari work, in textile business, or if you are into, into any technological products or any initiative which showcases the art craft culture of our country, or it is something which, the heritage of our country, or it is important for further technological upgradation. Like I said, you are making a smartwatch, the smartwatch which get made, you're making a part of the smartwatch which was never in India. So it's basically, if you are running such kind of a scheme and it is helping, it's a matter of skill of people, then definitely this, you're promoting some kind of skill development, or you're using a old skill in the country, you are looking at the coir industry, or you are helping some artisans, then that particular scheme, this particular scheme could be of help for you. You could also raise money through this scheme. A lot of government, these schemes are getting promoted to the panchayats in rural areas, and they are getting a lot of prominence now. A lot of people have already got funding. Whatever schemes I'm saying are the successful scheme of government where a lot of funding has already gone. And under the panchayat, they have made this common, small common facility centers which fill the form for these poor people and they submit. So see, I don't know, you are educated, they are not educated. So these centers also help them fill the form and get the money for these centers. So very beautiful scheme for people, especially in the rural areas. If you're promoting any such product, handloom products or your products of coir industry, or small, small cultural things in the abroad from our country, then this scheme is the best scheme to raise money. You also receive a lot of financial assistance if you're a khadi, industry. I'm not touching on that. Okay, very important to understand. If you are an MSME and if you want to be competitive, then technological schemes are run by the company. So if you want a Z certification, a certification which talks about, you can apply for a Z certification. This certification makes you a viable product, a viable tech product across the world. So zero defect. Okay, so Z is basically zero defect certification, and this certification, if it comes from government, then it becomes very easy for you to promote your products, and you also get funding at a very cheaper price. So they are hosting this entire Z certification, and it is not very costly compared to any other certification which you go for. If you have this certification, further financial assistance of 15 lakh rupees come to you directly. So seed capital may come from the government, startup scheme money could come to you directly. You don't have to approach, government will approach you once you get certified. Okay, you can also go, there's also schemes which talks about scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. One important thing to know is a lot of people nowadays are trying to show that they are supporting some weaker sections of the society while they are doing business. I don't know if you're aware or no, Bajaj has recently opened an entire manufacturing unit which says the manufacturing of Bajaj electric scooters, which is Chetak relaunched, would only be done by women. So under women empowerment, they are showing this as their social initiative. So moment you do this, under a small village area, you can ask government to give you some support, because you say you are scheduled caste or scheduled tribe women whom are benefiting because of you opening this business. So money comes in there if you say that you're promoting a social or a weaker section of the society, or if you are an entrepreneur who himself is scheduled caste or scheduled tribe, Then there are different benefits, additional benefits which you can get. Bank charges are waived off. Special schemes are there. Single point registration is there if you are a STSC. There are a lot of no loan processing may be taken from you from any banks. So these are some benefits if you are an STSC. Fine. There are also promotion boards for Northeast region and Sikkim region, and there are different schemes. If you look at, there are a lot of industrial, tech centers which are made. There are industrial estates which are made in the Northeast, and there are a lot of officers who are appointed to help you with the financial assistance or any other activity. So that's part of promoting the Northeast side, because in our country that area is lacking. So in case you are okay relocating, and you feel your product could be made, you go and open a MSME unit over there, then definitely you get additional benefits than what you see. Competition is less, people are less, and financial assistance is very high. Fine. So geographically, if you look, even if you go for a patent, then if it's a foreign patent, you get assistance up to 5 lakh. Government pays money for the patent. If it's a national patent, up to 1 lakh rupees money comes from the government. Trademark up to say 0.10 lakhs. That means around 10,000. And geographically, if you can prove you are in an area which is regionally underdeveloped and you are applying for a patent, 2 lakh rupee could come. For doing an IP, for having assistance of setting up IP facilitation center, up to 1 crore could be availed from the government. And for awareness and sensitization programs which you do on IPRs, you promoting this entire IPR activity across the sector, maybe you also get money from the government. So you get a financial assistance, you pick up pilot project, and you try to develop a cluster, industries or group of industries or a particular area. Up to 5 lakh rupees could be availed. So there are different, money which comes in from the government on different, schemes, under different schemes. So I think if you are interested in taking up, then you should look at these schemes. And now, in fact, there are a number of schemes to be discussed, but I would want to hear any questions from your side, because if I go on talking about schemes, the list is endless. Thanks to the current, government, that we're able to find so many, schemes which are available. So any specific, schemes you are looking at, or any specific queries you have with respect to the alternative funding opportunities? Any questions?
You can raise your hands if you have any question. Ma'am, I believe there are no questions, but ma'am, I have a question. Can I
Yes,
ask?
Mansi, please go ahead.
Ma'am, we have
I
a
think
question, Paras.
we had a hand raised by Mr. Paras.
Yes, ma'am. Paras, you can ask your question.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon,
I have a
Paras.
small question that can you share this PDF also?
I would have to check. This is part of my doctoral thesis. So I would just, I'll share the link where it's uploaded. The university has uploaded it. So I'll share that link with you to take it ahead. Fine. So,
Thank
so Paras, this is part of my doctoral thesis. So that's my topic of research. So definitely this would give you some guidance which scheme to go ahead with.
Definitely, ma'am. I see that I'm missing out on a lot of things which I can see here. So that's what I was asking for.
So you've started something on your own, Paras, right now, or you're aspiring to take up?
Ma'am, I'm aspiring to take up, but I'm a student right now.
No problem. So start up. What I'll say is take it up, start a particular idea, put it into place. Once you feel, your business has picked up, then I can, guide you with a number of schemes which would be prevalent at that particular time to pick up. So, and you'll get a lot of government assistance right now. So why not take the benefit out of it?
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, Paris. Yes, Mansi, you had a question.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask, like, my brother, he's planning to start up a hospital here. Obviously, not on a very big scale, but yeah. So he has already registered himself under the startup scheme. So we both were discussing about it. So we are not really sure about which other schemes we can avail. Like, we already have that 3-year waiver of for
Okay.
the tax because it's like till 2031 we can take any 3 years, consecutive 3 years, and
Right.
not pay the tax for those 3 years. Yes, ma'am. So any other scheme that we can.
So, Mansi, what I understand is for the healthcare sector right now, looking at the current pandemic, government is promoting some schemes. Idea is first slide. My first slide said, "Why do you require money?" So even if you go to government, or if you go to any bank or any investor, first question is going to be that why do you require money? So if you are looking at any scheme, my first question would be why you want to go for that scheme. There are a number of schemes available, but the point is, or the question is, why do you require money? So once I have clarity on that, maybe I can guide you further with whom can you go ahead with. Okay, so
Ma'am, I'll
maybe
work on it. Yes, ma'am, and I'll get back to you for sure.
definitely, Mansi.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Namrata.
It's a pleasure to be here, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an insightful session where you mentioned about the sources of funds, external sources of funds, and the various schemes that the government is providing us with. It was definitely essential for us to understand, and we realized that there was so much that we were missing out on. So thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your time and imparting us with your knowledge. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting Dr. Neelam.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
Okay, Bansi, can I take your leave?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now, I would like to welcome Ms. Vandana Tulani for the demo pitching session. Ms. Vandana Tulani, founder and CEO at Convento. She is a versatile and dynamic professional with over 25 years of rich experience in international and domestic business advisory and fundraising, a strategic planner with proven history of mentoring business startups, identifying new growth avenues, and developing innovative strategies and building high performing teams. Her core area of work is fundraising for early stage startups across sectors and industry served verticals. A diversified set of experiences has enabled ma'am to develop an eagle's eye for spotting opportunities in industries that are set for long term growth in the Indian economic context. She is also passionate about helping businesses reach the right people and fulfill their business requirements. She worked as an investment banker and advisor to family offices and angel investors in Jakarta, Indonesia, helping high startups from a diverse background from fintech and B2B tech all the way to consumer startups. She was raising funds for them and providing them with a range of services just as Convento does today. After 15 years of staying in Singapore and Jakarta, she came back to India. She did investments for a bit and then returned to advisory. That is when Convento was founded. Today, Convento is one of the most well known boutique investment banks in India and led by a female founder. I welcome you, ma'am, to deliver insights upon the demo pitching session. Over to you, ma'am.
So, I would like to thank all of you for giving me your precious time and attending this session, where you will learn why is the pitch deck so essential when we are looking for investments in a startup. Also, I would like to thank Dr. Neelam for giving me this opportunity to come in here and share my thoughts on the same. Thank you, Dr. Neelam. It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome, Vandana ji. Welcome, Vandana ji. I'm sure my participants will benefit from your experience and what to do in the pitch deck. They have gone through making a pitch deck. So before crafting one for themselves, they need to understand the finer points. What will a venture capitalist or any investor will look into their business idea. So I think you are one of the best person to guide them on this.
Definitely, and I would hope that all the students essentially who have joined here today or startups gain a lot of value add from the talk that I'm going to share. So, since I've already been introduced, I would still like to give you all a brief intro as to who I am and what all we do in Convanto. So I was in Singapore and Jakarta for 15 years in investment banking. I had my own family office fund there. This is my 7th year back in India. I did investments, then I went back to advisory. Um, it's a whole journey of 7 years. We did 165 investments in more than 35 countries. We are connected with 300 investors globally. Essentially, we are a global entity. We are sector agnostic. We pick up all sectors. We look into all different sectors. We have given, essentially, I have given 200 talks all over the world. You can see them on YouTube. Apart from this, I've been given 4 awards in 2021. I'm the top 10 women leaders in wealth management 2021. My brand Convanto comes under the top 10 women entrepreneur brands along with Nykaa. I have been given the award to be the Women Entrepreneur of the Year 2021. And also, my brand Convanto comes under the top 10 consulting firms in India. So, led by a female founder again. That's essentially all about myself. So, pitch deck, going back to the topic, pitch deck is a very, very essential part.
Hello,
Of,
Haji ma'am. Share the Excel sheet. Ma'am, कौन सी
sorry,
Excel sheet?
sorry. Pitch deck is essentially a very, very important part when you want to reach out to the investors. It's very important, just like when, say, for instance, you are selling chocolates, you would wrap it up in such a manner that your customers get attracted to it. And, just excuse me, I'll just mute my this thing. Yeah. So, the same way, pitch deck, we wrap your company up into a pitch deck and create a beautiful story to attract these investors. Um, and investors get attracted to the kind of story we present, which is done through a pitch deck, a business plan, a financial model, and valuation. And these 3 documents help you get the investments that you require. Now, at idea stages, it is less likely that you get investments unless you have done something really destructive. So many students, they think opening a startup or creating, just anything can get you investments. It doesn't really work like that. Hence, I'm going to just share a PPT. Do I have access to the share thing? Where I'm going to show you
Yes,
what
ma'am.
essentially is a pitch deck and why do we need one. And post that, I will take questions from the audience. So, just a second. So, I just share the desktop button, or is there a tab option as well?
Both the
Ma'am,
options.
you want to share your screen?
I want to share my screen, but I want to just share a tab. What do I, so I, uh, Click the share button, open share
Click the
screen.
share button and then there's a share a screen option.
Share screen and
Share a window, not your screen.
okay, yeah,
If you
I got
share
it.
your screen, everything will be visible, whatever you do on your laptop.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you prefer I do a slideshow?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is this better?
Yes, ma'am, that's good.
Okay, now this is essentially Convanto's guide to making pitch decks. Okay, um, as you know, all about Convanto, I'm not going to repeat that. Then this is about myself. Now let's see what investors expect to see in a pitch deck. Now, whenever you make a pitch deck, it is very, very important that there are certain things that are done by professionals. Many founders want to make the pitch deck themselves, but they are not in and out of the investors market. They don't know what are the global standards to make a pitch deck. They don't know what is it essentially the investor is expecting in your deck. Hence, I would recommend all the founders not to get into making the pitch deck on their own if they are not a professional. Essentially, you should have an idea since you are CEO of the company that what all needs to go in a pitch deck. So you don't just pick up any professional out there in the market. Okay. Now, what investors expect to see in your pitch deck? The first is company purpose, your mission and vision. This slide needs to be short and punchy. Then comes your team. Uh, Investors invest on a lot of things. Your team, the kind of what do you call destructive technology that you are bringing on the table, um, and what is it? Do you have a marketing team, a technology team, a finance team that complements each other? So these are the factors. What is the founder's background? So these things are very important. Now introduce your key personal and their track records. Very, very important. Now, what is it that the problem that you're trying to solve? It's very important to show that in your deck. And what is the solution? What is the solution that your business gives? Opportunity, when the iron is hot, why the investors should strike. Now, if I'm an investor, why would I put my hard earned money into your company? So you have to show that opportunity on your pitch deck. And what is your target market and distribution and total addressable market? You have to show that. Now, product. What are the key features? It is very, very important that you have a product video. If you don't have a product video, you should make one. Those are the key features of your product, your business model. How are you going to make people give up their hard earned money? Essentially, you have to explain your business model, create such a story that the investors get attracted to it and get curious about it. Competition, it's important to show a perceptual map on how you're positioned compared to your rivals. Many founders forget to put their competitors in the pitch deck. It's very, very important that you show your competitors. Then what is it that you're looking for? You need to make an ask. Is it seed and above? What progress you have made? Is it pre-seed? Then you need to show a 5-year plan. This includes strategic plans for your startup. What is the usage of your funds? In the sense, will it be used for marketing? Will it be used for technology development? Will it be used for working capital? Essentially, is it used for hiring? What exactly will be the usage of the funds? It's very important because the investor wants to understand where are his funds being used. Then also you need to provide an exit strategies that you can identify companies that may be interested in acquiring you in the future. Now, structuring your pitch deck. When you're structuring your pitch deck, grab your audience's attention. It is not always easy, but you've got to find a way to establish attention and excitement. Tell the story of an existing customer for your future points. Describe the problem and solution. What problem does your company solve? Uh, you know, See, pitching PowerPoint presentations are all about showing that you have found a problem that needs help. So make sure you add how your startup solves this problem. Explain the market. How widespread is the problem you seek to solve? Investors need to understand the total addressable market or the potential number of customers you might seek to serve. Then you need to make an ask. Whether that's funding or recruiting pitch for new teammates, most pitch presentations result in the support that you need to grow. Many of the pitch decks, they forget to make an ask. Very, very important. Now, what are the tips for a winning pitch? Like I mentioned, outsource the design work, use a business pitch template to skip far ahead in the design process, use infographics to illustrate key processes. An infographic is a visual that helps you show off processes or key data. It breaks from traditional charts like line graphs, bar charts, with more custom visuals that explain a concept. Now add a SWOT slide or a visual strategies. One of the most important successful visuals for a pitch deck is a SWOT slide. What is SWOT? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. These are the type of analysis that includes highlighting your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Investors don't spend more than 90 seconds on a deck. So it is essential that your deck is short and crispy. You have a video pitch deck always and a product video always ready when you present your deck. Now, tips for presenting your pitch deck. Essentially, a business plan is very important, or unit metrics. Since investors only look at numbers, it is better to present a unit metrics or a business plan. They are also doing business. Their money is not for charity. There has been a founder that used the money to buy a car. These kind of practices are not acceptable in this market. There was a founder who used the investors' money to treat cancer. It is not for personal use. It is essentially a business. So make sure that whatever investments you get, it is only used for business and not for personal use. You have to separate that. Now, in the business plan, you need to include revenues, exit strategy, the type of investment, equity, debt, or CCD is what is it that you're looking at. Make a video. Investors do not spend more than 90 seconds looking at a deck. Keeping that in mind, you should ideally make a video presentation that uh, shows, post a business plan so that you can really fasten your process with a visual. Language, you should explain every aspect of your presentation in a layman term language. This will ensure that they understand your business to the fullest. Keep it brief, to the point, and interesting. Make sure your explanation flows smooth like a story and does not take too much time to understand. Lingering on a slide more than 2 minutes may lead to the investor losing their focus. In addition, anticipate questions and answer them way ahead of time, making sure you clarify every detail. Now, these are some do's and don'ts that I had compiled. Do's is keep it clear and concise. Your pitch deck should effectively communicate the idea to the investors. Having a storyline is the key. Make it interesting from get-go. The first flow slides are important. They should be made in such a way which captures the investor's interest and attention towards the business, or else they will lose interest in the deck. Formatting is important. Make sure to use uniform professional formats, font sizes, so that your slides should look neat and pleasing to the eye. I have seen decks with spelling mistakes. So make sure that all that is not done. You have checked your spellings, it's explained in a layman's language. And do not forget some important slides. Like investors will keep an eye for slides like team, market size and traction. Make sure you include them in your pitch deck. Do not make it too texty. Investors are less likely to read a large amount of text altogether. So make sure to keep your points short. Do not give away all the information on the deck. It's important to create what next thing in the mind of the investor so that they contact you. This is essentially uh, the whole do's and don'ts which I've just discussed. Now this is examples which I took from a pitch deck. Sorry, business model. We make an average 30% commission on each SKU sold. This, see, if you look at this, it's in a form of done very, very neatly. The average numbers have been explained. They have used, brief information which explains everything. Then I also picked up their fund usage slide. If you see how they have segregated it, technology 15%, marketing 30%, operations 20, team 30, miscellaneous 5. So this is how we project our fund usage. Key metrics. This slide is very important. If you see how briefly the founder has explained everything in the key metrics with numbers, what is their gross value, CAU, CAC, average session durations, all this is essential depending on what is your product. And this is exit options. Now, many founders don't know what is exit option. So I've put in a slide here which explains that. The first option is to give exit to the investor through an IPO in approximate 5 years, getting the company shares listed on stock exchange so that with liquidity coming through trading of shares, the investor can sell his shares anytime, partially or fully. If the IPO is not possible, then the company should appoint an independent valuer of the shares and find a third party investor who will buy the shares from the original investor. The new investor should buy shares at a price which will give the required IRR, internal rate of return, to the original investor. The IRR asked is usually 20 to 25%. If second option is not possible, then the company should buy back the shares from the original investor by giving him the required RRR. Now, if the third option is not possible, then the founder should buy back the equity from the original founder by giving him required RRR. And if all of the above doesn't happen, then the company should look for a strategic partner, the one who buys a big stake in the business as a strategic investor and not as a financial investor, hence gives exit to the original investor. So this is all about it. And I'm opening to ask any questions that you may want. Hi, am I audible and visible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Yes, both. Yes to both.
Okay. So if any of you would like to ask any questions, then also I would like to share some of the books that you can read that will help you to understand this entire startup world. So you could just allow me, Dr. Neelam, I will just take 5 more minutes.
Yeah, please.
So the first book is The Power of the Subconscious Mind. Now, why we should read this book? This book makes our mind in center. It helps us to attract the right kind of opportunities, because essentially everything we desire is in our subconscious mind. So the first and foremost thing is to keep your mind in center. And this book will help you do that. The name of the book is The Power of the Subconscious Mind. Then comes the next book. It is Mint. No, I'll just pick up the startup ones. Uh, Start with why, Intelligent Investor. Yeah. So essentially, this book, which is The Lean Startup, is very, very important. It will help you set up your business in the right manner with the right directions. It will also help you adapt and adjust and pivot things when required be. So it's very important that you read this book if you're in a startup or planning to build one. Then comes this book, 0 to 1. This is all about how you set up your business in startup, how you reach from one goal to another goal. Uh, these books are essential. They have helped me also. They have helped many people who have the startups. So I think they will be able to help you also. Uh, this book is my favorite because it has everything from startup to exit, that what you need from the beginning till exit essentially is very, very important, especially if you have technology startups, health tech startups, and you don't have any direction towards it. So this is it. Now many students did come up to me saying they like to invest. So I would suggest them this book called The Intelligent Investor. When you read this book, it will not only help you to make the right kind of investments, it will also help you to understand the investor's mindset, essentially. So this is one book. And then comes Start with Why. This book is very, very important. Why do we need to, this question, that why are some organizations able to have success and why are some organizations not able to have success? So, and why you need to start everything with why. This book has it all. So I would recommend you to read this book. And Startup Myths and Models. This book is very important. It will help you to identify what are the myths in startups and that you can overcome, etc. Essentially everything you read and on the internet is not true as well. That's about it. So if the audience has any questions, you may please ask.
Ma'am, can you please share the PPT that you just presented, because it would be of great help for all of us.
Share it on the mail.
Ma'am, you can send it to ma'am on mail, then ma'am will send
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no problem. I think more than 100 people have this PPT, so you can have it also.
Ma'am, it's so clear, and we have actually gained a very clear understanding at you, and you made us understood it in such an easy way that it was very easy for us to understand this.
Yes, definitely you can have the PPT, not an issue at all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for such an insightful session where you mentioned about the pitch deck and everything that we need to keep in mind when we are preparing the pitch deck, and the 90 seconds. You told us that the investor is going to spend 90 seconds when we are presenting the pitch deck. So that was something really, really important. I would also thank you for telling us about the books that are very, very important for the startups. It is surely going to be of a great help for all of us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me here. I hope the students got to learn from this session and they will utilize this in their pitch deck live. If you have any more questions, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can email me. If you need any kind of other help as well, I'm always there to support.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Ma'am, I did send the connection request already.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vandana ji, for a wonderful session.
Thank you, Dr. Neelam. It was all because of you I could make it. So thanks to you.
Almighty is there,
So
not me.
So I would humbly take your leave now, and if anything else, please do let me know if that's okay.
Okay. Tomorrow we will be
Yeah,
meeting again,
yeah,
where
sure.
the students will give you the presentation.
Definitely, definitely.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I would request Professor Dr. Neelam Saxena, ma'am, Entrepreneurship and Head ACED AUUP, for quick alignment session to deliver information and help their startups to incorporate the changes in pitch deck suggested by the jury members.
Right. So participants, welcome to the last session. And what we need to understand is you need to present your pitch deck. Today we have been talking a lot about the pitch and what should go into it. I have shared with you a lot of uh, PPTs which were to be devised all through the week. Now, the last takeaway which I would like to uh, bring to your notice is a strategy canvas. It's always important that you should have a strategy to implement. Now, for any product, you know, what should I be using for strategy? What will be, just let me join through my laptop so that I can show you. Garima, will you call me?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You want the call again, ma'am? Ma'am, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. My laptop is not showing again
कोई नहीं, ma'am.
your call, but not the laptop. Uh, so it's very essential that we have a strategy before we move out for, whatever we are doing. So what you need to do is you need to identify your pain relievers, your gain creators. You know, don't think pain relievers are gain creators. Don't map them as the same. Pain reliever may be something which is giving me a satisfaction for which the reason I'm buying that product. But it does not create a gain. I'll give an example. I am buying a microwave to give me an ease in cooking. Having a griller inside it can be a gain creator. Microwave is there. Now I'm having a griller also into it. Or having 320 one touch menu. Just think, is it a pain reliever or a gain creator or what? For the same product, 320 one touch menu, no one is ever going to use it. No one will ever, think of using it. So your pain relievers and gain creators are not the same thing. Pain relievers may give a solution to the problem worth identifying. Gain creators are something extra to it, which is creating wow. Right? Maybe the aesthetic of the microwave is very beautiful. It's creating a wow, or it is coming out as a designer piece. So combine both and ask your customer whether it is good or not. So how do you plot a strategy graph? On the x-axis, take the benefits. On the y-axis, take your competitors. Try to look what are the features of your competitors versus the benefits which you are going to give to your customer. So once you are able to plot a strategy graph, it's a perpetual map. Let me come up to this. Let me share my screen with you. X-axis have the benefits, y-axis have the competitors. So number of features which can be your qualitative label, color, customer perception map, which can be featured out. So you plot this graph. Once you plot this on the graph, it should come out with a 4-action framework. And what is that 4-action framework? Reduce, eliminate, create, and raise. So 4 things you have to differentiate yourself. How are you going to reduce what is already in the market? How are you going to eliminate out that feature which is of no utility to you? How you are going to create something new which is not being given by the industry? And how are you going to raise the standards beyond the industry is demanding? And if you are able to do, you will be able to complete your product analysis in a very nice manner. Reduce the benefits which can be reduced below the industry standard. Eliminate out those benefits which the industry is taking it for granted, and create those benefits which the industry has never offered. So raise the benefits of the industry which is offering. I'll give you an example for this. Have you all heard about Circus du Soleil? Yes, no, maybe.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No.
Can you repeat?
Circus du Soleil.
No, ma'am.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So, have you heard about Circus du Soleil?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. Have you ever seen in your life a circus?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What did you see in a circus?
Ma'am, the performances.
Coordination among the performers.
Of
The performers.
Who are the performers?
They are professionals in various arts that they display.
ये ना MBA वाले आंसर्स नहीं दो. हाँ. एनिमल्स होते हैं.
Yes, ma'am.
होते हैं.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
स्टार परफॉर्मर्स होते हैं.
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ. Yes, ma'am.
टेपीज करते हैं. So when you are doing tepees and when you are looking at the star performers and when you are looking at jokers and when you are looking at animals, can you define that these people have their own strengths and they are performing because of their art and skill?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So when this happened, circus used to go, and then circus used to be there in your city for a month, then it would move from another place and be there for another month, and so on. And there used to be timings of the show. The show timing would be such that the school children, when they are off, they could be looked into, and weekends there used to be three shows, or when there was school days, it used to be only 1 or 2 shows per day. As a result, what happened was circus was struggling. One, because of non viewership getting reduced down, TV came in a very big way. So people started getting an alternative source of entertainment through TV. So cinema, TV, circus, these all, and games, these all were the contemporaries for each other and were struggling to find a place. Then what happened was these star performers also started forming a cartel and started taking circus owners at ransom because of their own requirement of higher prices and higher wages. Along with it, what happened was in the same time, animal activism also took place. So animals also started activism. People also started targeting the circus people with the cruelty they were going through with the animals, because they used to train and they used to with a stick control the motion of a animal and the dangers involved into it. Imagine a lion or a tiger just in front of you without a cage and it moves out, goes berserk. So Circus du Soleil is one of those circus which was already going through the similar type of situation. It is a French, Spanish, Canadian circus. So Circus of the Sun, the circus industry was declining and they made a winning proposition. So how did they make a winning proposition is an example through which you can look into. I can even give you an example of our, IPL. How IPL reduced, eliminated, raised, and created all these to become a super game attractor. So it's a strategy in which you need to decide what you will be doing so that you are far above the competitor. You are not competing. This is a session where I'm telling you we are not competing with anyone. We are becoming the leaders and keeping everyone behind. So if you use a strategy graph in your business idea, you will be able to make competition irrelevant. Are you getting it? I am making the competition irrelevant using this 4 action framework. So reason for decline was the star performers of the circus could not form a cartel, would form a cartel and blackmail the management. Animal activists also got to the rampant, and in-house entertainment was also on rise. So Circus du Soleil, this Spanish-Canadian circus, redefined the dynamics of the industry, and they eliminated out totally animals and reduced the importance of the stars, and they made a new entertainment which included dance, music, athletic skills. They abandoned their concept of original circus, and they now targeted only the classy adult audience. In 2019 December and January, we had Circus du Soleil come in. They travel all across the globe. In India, they came in 3 places. One was Chennai, one was Mumbai, and one was Delhi. And they had very limited uh, uh, performances over here. So the troupe with 4,000 tons comes in, takes in a place, makes the whole stage and the theater, and gives the performance. So see, this is a strategy graph. Benefits versus the competition which was being done. So there are 3 lines which you can see. The blue line is of Circus du Soleil, and the other 2 are the dominating circuses which were there. That was Ringling Brothers and Burman and Bailey. So, they tried to map it. What was the price? The price was medium. Star performer was very high in Burling Brothers and Burman Bailey. Animal show was also high. Aisle concession was also high. Multiple show arena was also not so high, but yes, they used to give lot of places they would be going. Fun and humor was high. Thrill and danger was equally high. Unique value venue was not there. Thematics was not there. Refined watching environment was not there. Multiple productions were not there. And artistic musics and dance and drama was not there. Now look at Circus du Soleil with the blue line. What they did a very high price ticket. They started with that. Now, who will buy such a ticket? Only the working professionals will come over here who has extra money to offer. So why are they coming to you? Are they coming to look at the star performer? No, they are not coming to look at the star performers. So look at the way they reduce down the star performance, animal show and aisle concession totally to or nearly to zero. But they increased? They increased fun and humor, thrill and danger, and unique value venue propositions. They make their own venue. They travel with all the uh, chairs and the arena and give it a very beautiful finish. And it appears to be, yes, that's a place where I should go and sit. And the tickets which they priced, they in India, they priced it from 1,000 rupees to 25,000 rupees, depending on the place where you were to sit. If you were sitting at the side where the whole stage could not be seen, you were paying a lesser price. But if you wanted to sit in the center with the full view, 360 degrees view, 180-degree view of the stage, then you could be paying more than 20,000 rupees for that ticket. So the pricing was so high. See, they sat down with this strategy curve and they said, we will reduce this, we will eliminate this, we will create something new. So new thing, new themes, new dance and new dramas and new ways of entertainment was created. artistic. You can see one person not only walking on a rope, but doing somersaults also on the rope. And the thrill and danger associated into it was very beautiful. So they use this. So how does this 4 action framework works? It gets associated with unconventional services. Reduce those unconventional services. Eliminate out the animal star performers and multiple show arenas. Create dance, music, and dramatic themes. They created unique venues according to their requirement and different from existing venues. They travel with their own ship. And as a result, their graph got converted into, and this is what blue ocean strategy tells you. Use new set of audience, adults and corporate clients. It's no longer for children. Circus du Soleil is no longer only for children, it is for adults. And they reinvented this in total. And the statistics as of today, they have more than 150 million audience across 300 plus cities, 20 years more. And the goal is not to beat the competition, but to make the competition irrelevant. So if you have to do this, find out what strongly you believe in about the industry which nobody believes in, and make that basis of your startup. You will be surely successful. I hope you have understood this concept.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Even we can do the same with IPL also. What happened with IPL? India was nowhere in the picture of cricket game. Why were they not in the picture? Because ये जो BCCI था हमारा, it was inspired by English Premier League. And BCCI tapped the unexplored domestic market of India cricket by introducing a new 2020 format at the game and combined it by entertainment. Just look into it. You had that cheerleader girls coming in, and it totally revolutionized the world cricket by making it a sport. And it took a quantum leap. What was happening at that time? If you recall, the movies which were coming were not worth 3 generations to sit together and see. And in India, we have an integrated family system, and with grandparents, parents, and children not able to see the theater simultaneously, they got a gap that let us show something where the whole family can spend time together. So they designed it in such a manner, 2023 hours, just replace a movie with a cricket. So they came up with this idea, and they used this strategy of creating 2020 over grey. So what they do was, they thought, which factors should we eliminate, which the industry is taking it for granted. So what factory was it taking for granted? The predictability of the match results, the perception of a cricket as a gentleman's game. So the second point says framework, eliminate, raise. Raise what? Those factors which should be raised well above the industry standards. So what was to be raised? The pace of the game. The game was coming at a pace. 50-50 was a full one day. So if I have to reduce it, I have to increase the pace. Then put emphasis on athleticism and increase the entertainment quotient. Then the third is reduce. Reduce what? Reduce those factors which are well below the industry standard. So what are those which is well below the industry standard? Seriousness and the staid nature of the game was there. And the match duration was again. So they reduced it. And what did they create? They created alternate to the watching of a movie with the family, city-based teams in the city, celebrities owning, belongingness, and now you can look into the trading of those cricketers, so that lot of fun element entered into it. Whatever you think about, whatever you want in your cricket, everything was there. Trading of cricketers, dance and drama of those cheerleaders, and the pace. So eliminate, create, reduce, and raise. These are the 4 action framework for a strategy canvas, which one should always look into. And not taking more time, I think we are completing it. So the next point which I want to do is get your pitch deck ready. I have already shared with you the format of the pitch deck. Please submit it by 10 o'clock. And any questions?
Ma'am, it will be
Yes.
better if we can have the interaction with Mr. Sanjay Bodh and the team, how they are going to present.
Yes, Sanjay ji, please.
It will be better, ma'am.
Sanjay ji. Yes, yes. Sanjay ji, Rajiv ji is also there, I think.
And my 3 students, Priya, Divya, and Akshay, can you prepare a pitch deck? Or Manveet, Mansi, Paras? Would you like to showcase something to the venture capitalists?
Ma'am, we don't have a pitch deck ready or a startup.
Make it ready. Make it ready. How does it? It doesn't take a lot of time if you have an idea which is there. You have a format. Self-driven. I think we all have got it now.
Okay, ma'am, I can try.
Good. Anvit, I'm very proud, feeling happy.
I can try, but I don't know how will I be able to handle the questions and everything.
That's okay.
Okay, ma'am.
I have one thought always, and I always tell my students, nobody learns from the mother's womb and comes. Everyone has to learn over here only. So it's okay to ask. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be a failure. It's okay to be scolded on. It's okay. It's a part of life. It's a part of growing up. Can we have someone speak?
No, ma'am.
Sanjay ji?
I'll try to get together a team for the pitch deck if we get a chance.
Paras.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can be in a team.
Please bring.
Ma'am, I think tomorrow.
Rajiv Sharma ji. संजय बोध से बात करते हैं.
Ma'am, I think tomorrow Mohammed sir and Survana ma'am will be joining, so they'll be also be presenting something. Rajiv
Hello.
sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. You are audible.
Okay, I'm audible. Fine. So,
Rajiv
how's
sir
your
is
journey? मैं actually watch कर रहा था, I all these 5-6 days. So whatever time
Rajiv
I
sir,
get free,
acha,
I
you,
keep logging
oh,
in.
I didn't connect you. Rajiv sir, I didn't
So
connect you to be the one, Now I am.
okay.
बताइए.
So I was just keep caning in this way, na, that what the kind of topics are you are actually organized over there, and how you guys going on, and the preliminary these jury members or the mentors who are coming, how they deal and how they advocate in these areas. Reason
Hmm.
being, I parallelly working with this business blasters, Delhi government.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
so I actually over there now as an investor and mentor over there. So I
Hmm.
already even 3 teams over there to take care of them. So hand holding and all
Okay.
these things.
Hmm.
So might be this is fruitful because these means they are the people, they are the children who are abandoned for everything, but they are actually inventing a lot of things. So business blaster is a definitely, I think you guys have watched or not yet that series. So on
No.
YouTube, you can go to the Delhi government channel or that particular channels as a business
Hmm.
blaster series. Even
हाँ वो
the
देखी है, वो
Chayos,
जिसमें मनीष सिसोदिया जी आते हैं.
right.
हाँ वो देखा देखा है.
So they actually firmly grounded with the micro investments, like
Hmm.
lakhs and 2 lakhs or some kind of that. And into that area, they abandoned with a lot of micro, the inventions. Like somebody
Hmm.
made the detector, the fire detector, the some kind of thief detector. So these are the things. They small things are made.
Hmm.
So overall process of your now Lakshya has been done, I think.
Hmm. Yes, evaluation of Lakshya has also been done, and
Okay.
tomorrow 4-5 will come in pitch.
Oh, okay. Great,
Hmm.
great.
Hmm.
So great time, great,
Hmm.
uniformity in the time, I think, but we are virtual.
Hmm.
We are
Yes.
seeing that when we're going to be check
Hmm.
that we are in the physical world.
Yes.
So great things. And
So,
whatever you need from my side, let me know.
so Rajiv ji, what is your feedback about this boot camp now that you have heard more or less, I think more than 50-60%?
Means I just say that every day I just keep logging in a break hours like my lunch hours somewhere 1 o'clock or might be sometime I have put to log in 3 o'clock just now. So overall screening is fine. Means day by day I think this is my third year with Amity, right? Third or might be fourth year within the relation network. Huh? So I keep engaging this way that every time things are very gradually it's moving. It's something people actually educate in this area. It's nothing about the investment. It's something the startup, the people, these bacha people, they actually have the incubate themselves and they understand boon whatever they're getting from these mentors and these cubics.
Hmm.
So it's enhancing their willpower also to start something with themselves, self assessment, and
Hmm.
also they get the confidence accordingly because the environment is also say that you are not now studying for the job, you are
Hmm.
studying to grow yourself, and along with you one or two people take it care of them also. So you should be at the group of 2 to 3 people to start with something self. It's not about company, but start something
Hmm.
self, and then make it realization that you are earning for yourself and along with the 2-3 people. It's okay.
Hello.
So we are friendly. It's okay. And it's okay. And
Chaliye. Thank
In fact, Garimaji, you have to create a one session for the entertainment in between these sessions. Sometimes the seriousness should be come and barred in this area also. And barred it. Okay, great, great. So fine, मिलते हैं very soon. It's
हाँ जी
lockdown
सच
and everything is getting into the real time. Okay, I hope
ओके
that by March the things will open physically as a college or as a university point of view, and because after the election of this UP, I think the campus is handled with yourself, and they will take the wise decision to open the campus.
yes yes hopefully
Yeah. Okay. So let me know if
right
anything,
have a
any
nice look
assistance, any work which we need you required. Let me know also. Okay.
yes thank you
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
okay
Neela ma'am, it will be great if
जी
you share some template for the pitch deck also. They will prepare on
I
that.
shared not today boot camp के
Manvi,
डाल दिए
check your bootcamp wala group. That
Okay,
is
ma'am.
there. So
I
okay,
have given
ma'am.
a pitch deck
Ma'am, I'll stop the recording now.
Yes.
yes please thank you